recording. I'm so fucking sorry, man. It's take
good.
two. I bring you in last week. I had such a great chat. It's Joel Pearse,
Hi, guys.
comedian, podcaster, runs Dumpster Fire Comedy in Brunswick. We'll talk about that later. Thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. I fucked up my recording. I didn't. I deleted the file. Have you ever done that?
Look, man. I think not just from my own experience of podcasting, but listening to podcasts since like the beginning of podcasts. You know, when there was only like fucking 10 of them. You'd hear them come back from an episode and be like, yeah, there was a fucking great episode we recorded yesterday, but we lost the files.
Yeah.
Corrupted files, man. Halfway through the AFL season when we were doing the I Had to Kick That podcast, the machine I used just shit itself.
Yep.
Just completely bricked, couldn't turn it on. It was in warranty and everything, so I sent it back, but it took because it's COVID, it took like fucking 4 months to get back. So I was borrowing somebody else's and trying to do it different ways and fucking download it, then adding backup plans for the backup plans. So it's like, well, I'll record it shit on Facebook Live, and then at least there's some audio I can definitely rip and give to them and like record a thing beforehand going, yeah, sorry the audio shit this week, but if you want an episode, here it is.
I guess for people listening or watching that don't really do podcasts, the closest we can get to describing it is probably back in the day when the first iPhones came out, where you couldn't back up your data and you lost your phone in a club or in a taxi. It was just fucking gone. It was all that money and all those contacts.
Bro,
and
I had a
texts
Motorola. You remember
gone.
the Motorola Razr?
Yeah, man.
Right?
Was that the flip?
Yeah. Fucking, I was on it, man. I was like, I got to get one of these. I got myself a fucking purple one. One night, the cunt lasted. It was so fucking thin. And a couple of nights, and there was some sensitive material on it. I only had it 2 days, and there was already sensitive material on the fucking thing. Yeah. Slipped out of my pocket in a club, never fucking saw that again. I walked into Telstra, and I was like, "Oh, what happens?" They're like, "You fucking pay us out for the whole phone." And I was like, "No, it wasn't Telstra; it was 3." So I just waited for him to go out of fucking business and never paid for the phone.
I did that with OneTel.
Yep.
James Packer. I didn't pay my bill, and no one came calling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll get away with it.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Unless you owe money to the mafia down Lygon Street, you're fine.
If the company is not going to send someone to bust your kneecaps, you're good.
We worked this out with a mate that you need to incur a debt of over maybe $5,000 because they have to sell the debt to a debt collecting company. Then they've got to pay some fuck per hour.
My mate Steve put me on this years ago.
With super.
They'd ring me up and it'd be the debt collecting place, right? And they're like, oh, look, yeah, we've got this debt from Blockbuster Video. That was another big one. That was another big one I had.
What move like videos? Goonies?
I think I had a bunch of video games.
Oh,
and,
sick.
I've still got a big Blockbuster collection at home.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Sick, man.
Fuck them.
Post it.
I knew it was going to go out.
Instagram the fucker. I want to see it.
Yeah,
I'll tag you in
There's
it.
a lot of VHS.
Man, old school.
Anyway, they ring up and my mate goes, just tell them this. He goes, did you buy this debt from Blockbuster? And they go, yeah. Go, well, that's a bad fucking investment because you're not going to see $1 out of me and hang up on them. They ring back and every time you're just like, how much do you think you could pay? Oh, today I think I'll pay nothing. Get fucked and hang up. And like...
There's nothing they can do.
No. They've bought the debt. It's their debt now.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
And it has to be over a certain amount for them to want to come and get you. Can they take your car? Are they allowed to break into your car and possess it?
They can clamp your car.
Oh, clamp it, but they can't take it.
No, I don't think that. Well, they might be able to take it. I found it. I had a bunch of it was just fines, tram fines, parking fines, shit like that. But the sheriff came knocking one day, and I was like, "Fuck, I better look into what they can and can't take." And it's actually they can't take much. They can't take your TV. They can't take your bed. It's deemed essential items, but like your computer, if you need your car for work, they can't take your fucking car.
Really?
Because it's like, well, okay, cool. I can't pay this bill with this job. Now you're going to take my car and I can't have my job. Like, how the fuck? So, yeah.
Is this a sheriff that does this job?
Yeah, they send the sheriff around. So the cops don't
Not like a sheriff from, like, American movies. He's just a fat white cunt who's
dog catcher / fucking debt chaser, basically, yeah.
So he's just someone from the council.
That reminds me of a funny story about a sheriff.
All right, so the sheriff rocks up, knocks on your door.
Yeah.
But he can't come into... He can't force his way into his...
No. He just served me papers.
All
like,
right.
just like...
Not that I owe anything, but...
He came with the papers saying, we're coming here to... we need to sort this debt out. And I just said to him, which was true, I said, oh, look, I called Fines Victoria today and worked out a payment plan. And he went, oh,
All right.
cool. And he fucked off.
Yeah. So what was that funny story that you were...
Oh, the sheriff. Back in town, I used to hang out at the pub with my dad a lot when I was a kid. Like, I grew up.
Which pub?
It was called the Royal Standard Hotel in Yarram. So
Where's Yarram?
So 3 hours south, Melbourne.
3 hours south of Melbourne?
Yeah.
Where?
So, like, you go to the coast and then you kind of edge along around the coast back towards Sale.
Oh, okay.
That way?
Yep.
Yeah. South Gippsland.
South Gippsland.
Deep south.
Yeah, because I thought south is like in the bay. You're like past Rosebud and Rye.
Yeah, well, you keep going along.
Keep going along the coast.
Well, like, I'm from around there, like, Welshpool's like the most southern point of Victoria. It's like, they used to run the Sea Cat out of there to go to Tassie before they did it in St Kilda because it was just fucking closer.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this guy, Dazzler. He had cerebral palsy, and he'd hang around the pub. He was probably in his 30s at the time, and yeah, around the same age as my dad, I guess. So it's funny, I'm about that age now. But yeah, he had me at the pub. But Dazzler, because he had cerebral palsy, he couldn't fucking drive, but he rode a fucking BMX everywhere. People take the piss out of him because, this bloke with cerebral... But, like, they hung out with him. He had slurred speech and all of that.
Yeah, but he rode a BMX.
Rode his BMX
Good?
everywhere. Yeah, he's fucking...
Competent?
Yeah, competent on the... It was one of those
Jumps
things,
and
like,
shit
you'd
or
see
no?
him, like, limping along, arms going everywhere. As soon as he'd fucking get on that bike, it was like there was nothing wrong with him, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it was magic.
So he's all elastic, except once he's on the bike, he's fluid, he's gone.
I think it's a focus or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's riding around town one day, no fucking helmet on. I mean, he's got cerebral palsy. He's not fucking worried about hitting his head, So he's riding around, and the fucking sheriff pulls up. And, like, in a small country town, the sheriff's just a dog catcher. He's not even getting fines or anything like that.
It's not like sheriff as in America.
No, not like you're not a lawman. Well, you are a man of the law, but anyway.
Yeah, like a parking attendant, parking officer for a cop.
Yeah,
That's a difference.
yeah,
You're not
exactly.
really...
So anyway, the fucking sheriff pulls up to him, and he goes, "Hey, Dazzler, where's your helmet?" And Dazzler, without missing a beat, looks back at him. He goes, "Where's your fucking badge?" And rides off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck the sheriff. They can't do fuck all.
Yeah. So so that's the sheriff.
Yeah.
Nice one.
We're talking about fucking. I want to bring the dog fucker back up.
Yeah. So in the last podcast, which got deleted by me by accident because I'm a fuckhead, we talked about how you did some rehab.
Yeah, I was in like mental health rehab for a while. Yeah.
And I said, were there any strange cats? Excuse the pun. In the mental home, and you said, yeah, there was a
dog fucker. Yeah.
An actual dog fucker.
Yeah. So the deal with the dog fucker was the word got around pretty quick that there's a dog fucker in our mix. And the funny thing was, the cunt always wore those like Dandenong Market shirts with a big fucking wolf print or like a dog print on the front of them.
Yeah.
Like full face.
Loved them.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I think you said last time it was like he wore his favourite girls out. Like, you know, it's like if you had a fucking, you wore your
That's right, I did say that.
supermodels on the t-shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
That was his version, you know. I mean, you wear what you like, you know.
Yeah. Did anyone try and get into his head as to why he was doing that?
Nah.
Where the attraction came from? Because that's what I'd be interested in.
There was just like one moment where...
Like what you see. What do you see?
Everyone kind of stayed away from him.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, one kind of violent bloke who was there getting off ice bailed him up underneath the camera and was like, "If you fucking look at me, you fucking speak to anyone I know, I'll fucking have you, cunt. They can't see me under this camera." And then, yeah, the dog fucker. But they eventually had to get us all in a fucking big meeting, like everyone in rehab and psych, to like leave this guy alone. It isn't true. And me being the cunt that I am, I'm sitting there going, "Look, here's his fucking name and an age thing that says he fucked all these like I've got Google, like I know the cunt's name."
So instead of owning up to it and say, "Look, guys, we do have a dog fucker, but just we're all in here for our own reasons."
That's what they went with.
So they disrespected you all by trying to
lie about it and go,
which
"That's
is
not
worse.
true." Yeah, it's like, well, come on.
They're doing a disservice.
And
to
my
you.
argument was, why he shouldn't be in here. You know, he's not trying to get off fucking. He's not trying to kick smack. He's trying to kick fucking his dog. Like the RSPCA and the police should be involved. This cunt should be in like a prison. You know what I mean?
What was his name? Jason.
No, Jason was the tough cunt that bashed him, pushed him in the corner that time.
What was dog fucker's name?
Can't remember his name because I immediately.
Yeah.
It's the same with like fucking shit open micers. I immediately give them a fucking nickname.
Yeah.
And then that's what they are for the rest of the time. Like I saw this cunt doing star jumps before his fucking 5-minute open mic set. So now that cunt's just star jumps. From now
Star
on.
jumps. Who was that? Do I know him?
Probably not.
Do you
Real young dude, but like he was getting himself pumped up and he's doing star jumps. I'm like, cunt, it's not that serious. There's fucking 2 cunts in the audience, and the rest of the comics, like, just get up and don't.
I still get nervous though, even for a
Yeah.
small gig. Do you have a thing before you go on stage? Like I get.
I try and sneak one last smoke. Like it's like a control thing though.
Okay.
Like a cigarette, not a spliff. I'll go out for a fucking one smoke. Like, okay, cool, clear me head, and then maybe take a piss, and then
Do you shit?
No,
You don't get the nervous poos.
I get the nervous shits before I leave the house.
Right. Well, that's great.
So
You know how many dilapidated dunnies I've shat in?
Yeah.
The one at dumpster, you can't even close the door
Oh, no,
properly.
it's bad.
So I have to lean forward and try and hold the door like I'm
the
doing
old shit with one foot up.
Yeah, hate that. Green rooms, there's some horrible backstage dunnies around.
Yeah.
Especially where I've gigged around the world in Eastern Europe.
It's just not something that they take into account. Like, everyone shits. Like, you should... Do you have to be fucking Janet Jackson asking for the fresh toilet seat every fucking night? Like, that level
really
to get
care.
a nice shitter as an entertainment?
I don't understand people that say, I only shit at home.
I shit where I have to shit.
I know. I can't hold it in. I think you're doing your body a disservice.
Yeah.
And it's probably not good for you.
I don't think it's good for you,
to
no.
hold your shit in.
And
And I'm like,
the
I
kind
don't-
of shits I do, you can't just fucking...
Yeah. I'm like that with people. If you want out of my life, you're out.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get you out now.
Yeah,
I'll cut you.
we're done.
We're done. So I can't believe those people that don't shit when they need to shit and then it passes. I'm like, there's still shit there.
There are some, like, shit protocols that I'll abide by. Like, if we're on a camper van or a tour, I won't shit on the bus. Because, like, you know, that's...
I've had to, though.
I'd
It's
pull
awful,
over
man.
and I'd shit on the side of the road.
Oh,
Because I've got no shame with that. I'd just be like, fuck it.
That's- For those who haven't shat on a bus, I was in the UK for 8 years, and because my career was going great, we would catch something called the mega bus.
Yeah,
The mega bus was like $25 for a ticket to go to Manchester, do a gig,
yeah.
get paid cash, jump back on the bus and come back. A lot of times I'd have to shit. Shitting in a mega bus is like
Oh, that's
squatting-
different. That's like public transport bus shitting. But I'm talking about, like, if you're with family and friends, you don't fuck them over by shitting in the bus. If it's other shit in the airplane, shit, like, yeah.
It's like squatting in a phone booth that's rocking a lot.
Yeah.
Like aeroplane
Oh,
poo
if you-
is nothing.
Have you ever shit on trying to shit on a V-line?
No.
Same thing. Like the train, it's
right,
lurching
yeah.
left and right, and
Are there rails either side?
I think it just goes fucking straight on the tracks.
Surely not.
Why not?
It'd be great to see that side on. That means like just stretching,
Super slow motion camera watching the piss and shit
Yeah.
fall out of the train. Yeah,
just stretching right along.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that'd be a lot better than just like catching it all in a container. And
Yeah.
then,
Well, it's a
using
lot
it
of
for the
work.
front bar for
All
mixers.
those blue chemicals or whatever the fuck they use in porta potties.
Mm.
That stuff's got to be fucking horrible.
Do you have a joint before you go on stage? I can't.
I smoke
it
like
fucks me up.
I smoke all day.
Yeah.
So yes, I do.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're different. I've noticed.
It's
that
everyone's different. Like
You
some
can still
cunts will smoke a
focus.
spliff and get psychosis. You know,
Yeah, man.
other people will smoke a spliff and get real paranoid and real fucking introverted.
What do you put that down to? Do you put it down to like delicate brain chemistry that we all have? Because the brain is
Yeah.
more neurons than there are stars in our galaxy. So
Yeah.
there's fucking heaps of connections. And
And I
it's such a
think
delicate
The
balance. that-
punishment you put into it, like, I think it hasn't really been explored enough. The punishment that we put in our brains before they're finished developing. Because, like, a lot of people start drinking as a teenager, right?
What's the last thing to grow? Your brain.
Yeah.
At 25.
Yeah.
It's kind of backward, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is that purpose built for evolution to allow us to take risks, chances, to
I think so,
take
yeah.
on a big predator to bring it down so we can feed the tribe?
Yeah.
You know,
When you're most strong and virile, yeah.
Yeah.
That 18 to 25 period where...
if the brain developed quick at 17, you'd be like, I'm not taking on a fucking walrus. Fuck that. We'll be vegan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, let's just grow fucking Brussels sprouts in the backyard. And,
Yeah. And have no energy and wither away and die.
Yeah, fuck
Even
it.
though vegans are hating me for saying that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was so I cut you off about the brain developing and
Yeah, so like you nailed it. That till 25, your brain hasn't fully developed.
Yeah.
So any like alcohol, drugs, anything that you're putting into
Yeah,
your
man.
system is
Yeah.
altering permanently your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
When I worked with young people, that was the kind of shit I was trying to get across to them. I was like,
What
look,
capacity did you work with young people in? Like
one-to-one.
counselling?
Yeah, I was like their support worker. So,
Oh, yeah.
the way I'd put it to them, because you talk to kids like they're fucking normal people, not down to them. They
Absolutely.
respond, and
Yeah.
that goes for fucking small children to
On their
young
level.
adults, right? That's why I worked well in that, because I'm young at heart, man. I still like, if Sesame Street's on in the morning, I'll watch that shit, because fucking yeah, Sesame Street. I grew up on it. It's still fucking good. Anyway, that's the stuff I try to get. I'm like, the choices you make now with what you decide, what drugs you decide to do. If you're fucking huff and paint, I've seen it. I've seen my mate who was 13 and used to sniff petrol. He lives under a fucking bridge in Wonthaggi now, under a fucking one of those silver, ambulance blankets. You know what I mean?
They're really warm, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good if you're going to sleep by the coast under a fucking bridge. You're going to need one. You're going to need some heavy duty blankets.
But I'm like,
these are the choices he made.
I want to go to the footy with them in winter.
Aussie Disposals.
They sell them.
Yeah, you get them from. That's where he got it from.
The paramedic version ones.
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
Hypothermia.
Yeah, them silver joints. Yeah,
Yeah, they're great.
But not bad for Melbourne winter at all. Yeah,
Fuck
wrap
yeah.
it around your legs at the footy. You're good to go.
Yeah, just
Make it into cut some fucking holes in it. Make it a poncho.
Yeah, you look like a jacket potato from far, but fuck it.
You fucking show up on the tally though.
There you go. So yeah. So.
But I try to get across to them. Yeah, those decisions you make from. Yeah, whenever drugs or alcohol get introduced to you, and that depends on your environment. Like some kids will fucking have a bong when they're 7. You know what I mean? Because of bad parenting, generational poverty, and all that shit.
Or great parenting. It just depends how you view it. But yeah, it's probably bad parenting.
I was about that old when my dad introduced me to the idea of marijuana.
When did he let you have a drag?
Never.
Yeah, that's good, Dad. Can I just say quickly? Do you think my problem with marijuana is it's grown in cupboards and the concentration of THC is way too strong because it's not grown naturally by sunlight and photosynthesis with like a sunrise, sunset. It's just, according to the plant, it's just getting bombarded by sunlight.
Yeah.
So it's growing
just
in a
UV
cupboard. So the THC is off the scale.
Yep.
So when you smoke it, it's like a sledgehammer to the brain. The balance of THC to CBD is off.
Yeah, well, they sell
not right.
the zero CBD.
Is that causing? Is that triggering psychosis in a lot of people? Do you reckon that's pushing people over the edge? Do you reckon if we went back to homegrown?
Nah, I don't think it. I don't think it's a strength thing.
Okay. Because I like weed when it's mild and I can get giggly.
Mids and mid. It's like great mid weeds that you can.
But what is mid weed?
Like it's not that fucking rap shit.
People? Is there a market of that? Like, do people sell mid weed?
It's kind of what you can get. Yeah, they do.
Because the stuff I get, it's so pungent. The smell is so. It's like the size of a fingernail, a bud, and you just know if you smoked all that, you'd be fucked.
When you do smoke you smoke like because you want to like be productive and do shit, or because you want to be introspective and relax?
The latter.
Yeah, but so you want to smoke indicas. So there's sativas and indicas. Sativas are your kind of uppers of weed, even though they're both depressants. But sativas I'm creative, I feel like doing shit. Let's play video games, kind of. Let's go to the park and fucking blah.
What's that called?
Sativa.
And what is that? I've got no idea.
So that's the strain.
The strain of marijuana plant.
And the other strain is indica, and they have hybrids as well. But the indica one, the way I remember it, is indica in the couch. Because, you smoke that shit and you get couch lock. You're like, it's good for sleeping. It's good for...
so it's very strong.
Strong, and it has a higher CBD thing as well, so it's better for inflammation and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. I always smoke weed before I play basketball for joint pain. It's not for fucking... I play better because I'm high. It's literally so my fucking knees don't kill me while I play.
So the marijuana helps your...
joint pain, yeah.
So the CBD reduces inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like a natural fucking anti-inflammatory.
And it doesn't affect your reflexes and your...
That can be... I don't think so.
Or do you just stand...
No, I'm not playing basketball, nah. I think that's a lot of muscle memory. I've been playing since I was 7. I'm 37 tomorrow. So...
happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man.
Or do you stand under the... Can you stand more than 3 seconds in the key and just fucking relax under the ring waiting for the ball? Because you're a tall cunt.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, that's all right.
But it's like... A psychiatrist said it to me once. She goes, where's your happy place? Like, and people think, oh, on the beach or fucking with my children or fucking this nice family holiday. For me, it's standing in the paint in a game of basketball, watching 9 other people, like watching 9 things at once and focusing on all of that. Like, that's where my mind's the clearest.
Hang on a second. So, are you playing?
Yeah, while I'm
you're
playing.
You're in the game.
In the game, that's where my mind is absolutely clearest. I know what to do. I know what I have to do. I know where I have to stand. I know where I have to be. It's like the closest thing to like absolute fucking peace.
Is that because there are so many things happening? You're absorbed in concentration by the game itself.
There's no room to think about anything else. Yeah.
I get that with stand up when I'm on stage.
Yeah, like performing. I can get that with
performing.
When you're doing well and you're in that flow state, you come off and you're like, what? How the
you have to download your life again.
Yeah.
And like, who am I again? Oh yeah, I'm Johnny Katz. Oh yeah, that's right. I've got shit to do tomorrow. Oh yeah, I fucking got a fine to pay because all this shit comes.
I
back
fucking
in your
crushed that, and then you walk off and you're like, oh, I'm broke.
Yeah, all this shit comes flooding back.
Yeah.
But it's amazing when you're on stage.
Yeah.
I've experienced it where, I mean, I was in Austria about to go on stage, and I got a call from my mum saying, "Oh, your father's had a stroke. We're in Greece. We're at the hospital." She's like, "When can you come?" And I'm like, "Holy fuck. Is he all right?" She's like, we don't know. We think so, but he's non-responsive. I'm like, Jesus, fuck. And I remember my manager was with me in Austria, and I was backstage, and I was shaking, and he's like, "Are you going to be all right?" And I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. I didn't think I was, but I lied to him. But yeah, sure enough, I went on stage. I was able to forget, do the gig, come off stage. I didn't do great, but I didn't do poor. I just got the job done. And my agent hugged me and he goes, "Now you're a pro comic."
Yeah.
Because you were able to do the job when you thought you couldn't.
Flick the switch on. And
it's not about crushing. It's just doing enough to satisfy the role. So the audience,
100%.
They had no fucking idea my dad had a stroke.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, good show. Who's next?"
I had a really similar. I had my grandfather die before a really big show. This was with my band. We were playing the Prince. Headlining the Prince of Wales, so it was a fucking big show.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that because last time, I did press record.
We jumped around all over the place and kind of missed it, but we were headlining, so it was fucking huge, and it was a big day, and fucking we'd been out the night before, and like kind of kicking on into the next day, and I was on the tram on the way to St Kilda for the gig, and I got the phone call, your grandfather's died, and I just got off the tram, sat on a fucking bench, and was like, I can't move. I was paralyzed, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I had missus with me at the time, and she's like, you'll be right. You'll be right. Sure enough, eventually I got there to the thing, and as soon as I kind of walked in and was like, oh fuck, I've got to put on my performer face, I forgot about it. Did the show, went home, and that's when I fucking finally was able to
allow myself to
process it, break down, cry, be upset. But in that, it's a similar thing. It's like, and we fucking crushed the show too. And that's the thing. Like, the whole time I had that thing inside me, like, I'm gonna suck. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop, even though with the brave face, I can't stop thinking about it. As soon as I walked out on stage and saw the audience, I was like, I'm fucking good. I'm golden.
It's just a great sign of growth where you're able to compartmentalize your brain and create doors and hallways and put shit inside of a door, close it, and go off down the hall and do a job, get shit done. And I think it's the reason why we have pets for children, so that when pets die, kids can deal with that early on and learn. You got to go to school. All right, your dog died, but you got to now go to school.
Yeah, you still got to go to school.
Get shit done. And so you were a musician, right? Or you still are? I guess you always will be.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Oh fuck! So
I only do
what genre?
Rap music, and then with the band, it was kind of like a jazz reggae hip hop band.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you play instruments?
Nah, nothing well.
So you would rap?
Yeah.
Right. And obviously, is it like stand up? You write your own stuff?
Yeah, 100%. So like, the discipline of writing non-stop was an easy transfer to go to comedy, because that's the only way you get better, right? Is you keep fucking doing the thing. But it's like one of the only transferable fucking skills. People always think, oh, that's such a... Nah, not really. It's two different things. People are like, oh, why don't you do a fucking... like a joke rap song? And I'm like, because that's fucking like... I'm mashing two things that... It's like trying to put a fucking round... It doesn't work for me, because I took my music so seriously, and the things I talked about my music seriously. and I don't take my comedy serious. I want to be silly. I want to have fun. I want to say, silly shit. I can't put the two things together and do them both justice. Do you know what I mean? It's like it'd be half-assed if I mashed them together.
Yeah, they're mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I like tennis. I like surfing. I'm not going to go surfing with a fucking racket in my hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, each one is its own beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Do you stimulate the same creative muscles or energy vibe to get into writing a rap track and then sitting down to write stand-up? Or, I can't write stand-up in front of a computer. I need to be at a gig.
Pen and paper.
Yeah, pen and paper.
I always wrote all my music with pen and paper. It was only like recent years where when I'd been doing it for 10 years, then I started just writing verses in my phone really quick.
Yeah.
Because like an idea had hit me and I'd go, okay, sweet. But like writing a verse, like 16-bar verse, will only take me like half an hour. But if I want to write a fucking one-liner, I can be there all day with just the setup and staring at the fucking page going,
all right,
what's the answer to this? It's more of a puzzle. I mean, they're both puzzles. I think writing can be kind of seen that way as like, you're trying to move things around and see what fits,
Is there any, let's say you go to a rap night. I've never been.
Yeah.
But
you're not missing out much.
Really?
It's like my least favorite thing about fucking music was fucking rap shows. They're the worst. Too much testosterone. Someone always gets fucking
I was going to ask you, are there hack topics that rappers like, for example,
rapping about rapping. That's it drives me mental.
How do you mean rapping about rapping?
They rap about.
Like, I'm so good about rapping. I can do this, flick that, fuck that.
I'm such a good rapper. These are all the reasons I'm good at rapping. These are the reasons other cunts are bad. I'm like, talk about something. You just like being braggadocious. I don't mind as long as it's fucking entertaining. Do you know what I mean? Like, tell me you've got an anaconda for a dick. At least that fucking like paints a picture. You know what I mean? But if you're just like, I'm the best, fuck everybody else. Look how much it gets boring.
So there's a lot of that on the circuit.
Yeah, just people just rapping about their fucking non-existent fans and their non-existent haters, and it's just like, come on, bro, just fucking rap about your life. Like, that's what it's about, is your experience.
Like stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get, good at it, you sort of understand that, all right, these jokes are funny, they're getting me laughs, but I've got to go deeper.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I love a lot of surface level fucking shallow music, but it's got to be good.
Like what? What's the most
bro,
shallow?
I listen to so much like current, like skirt hip hop music that like 90% of if I put it on for anyone, they'd be like, "Why do you listen to this garbage?" I'm like, I like bass, and it's the beats are good. I got over caring so much about the lyrics and just started to enjoy good songs.
Are you concerned about the state of music? Because I've often heard from older people, probably baby boomers and to except Gen X, going, where are all the fucking bands? Where are the good bands?
They still exist.
Do they?
Yeah. There's just, I think that it's more telling you like the internet culture and the way everything's instant, right? Instant gratification, and you don't get the same vibe of a band off a fucking film clip. As you do is go and see them in a pub or at a venue or whatever. And the people that want that will still go seek that out. And their music sells well and stuff. Like there's like that. There's a few like Melbourne bands. I'm not really into their music, but I'm aware of them. Like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and I learned most of their names from listening to Triple R, because they're just like, hey, album of the week is by blah blah blah. And there are all these like metal bands and rock bands, and those scenes still exist. It's just that the stuff that's popular now is fucking overproduced horse shit.
I've got a friend who's in a band, and I feel for him, because he was telling me how fucking expensive it is.
Oh, it's one of my it's like a musician's the only person that'll fucking load $10,000 worth of equipment into a $500 car.
Yes.
Drive it for fucking 100 kilometers for $5.
Yeah, once they break it all down, all their money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was in a 9-piece band. Like, we played the Evelyn one night, and the cunt was like, you made $1.36 each off the door.
Yeah.
And I was like, pay me.
It has to be.
We robbed the pool table one night because the fucking venue owner wouldn't pay us.
People have to understand, listening, that to be a musician or a comedian at that level, like you said, to have $10,000 equipment loaded into a $500 car, you have to be addicted, and you are addicted. You're completely.
It's got nothing to do with money.
Nothing to do with money. You are
The
completely
$5 is
addicted.
going to buy you a drink at the end of the night, or fucking a hot dog on the way home.
Have you heard the anecdote of a famous band? I don't know who they are, but it's a famous anecdote I heard in the UK about a famous band broke down when they were early on trying
Walking
to
through
make
the snow?
Yeah, walking through the snow.
I heard Seinfeld. It was on the comedian documentary. Seinfeld,
Was it?
Seinfeld tells it to that Orny Adams kid. Yeah. If you don't know it, I can.
Tell
retell
me.
it.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe Smokey Robinson.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I heard it in the UK
It
at a gig.
It was a African American band, right? They're driving to the gig. They break down in the middle of the snow. They're like, "Fuck it, we've got to make it to the gig." So they chuck all their equipment on their back and they trudge through the snow. Like, they're wet up to their knees. They're all in their suits and everything. As they're walking through the snow, they see this little house, and inside the house is a nice little fire, beautiful family scene. Mum's making dinner and Dad's playing with the kids on the thing. And anyway, the guys in the band look in and go, "Ugh, how can people live like that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That to me encapsulates how what we do is a fucking narcotic.
Yeah.
To jump in a car in a comedian's vernacular at middle of winter, go to an open mic gig, wait around for 2 hours just to get 5 minutes in front of 4 or 5 people that haven't even paid, if that. And you're just working on a material and you record it and you listen back to it and you're just inching ahead slowly, like fucking makes a snail's pace seem fast. And just when you think you've ironed out a piece of material, you'll do it again the next night in front of a crowd and it won't work.
Yeah, and they'll let you know it's a piece of shit.
And you're back to square one. And that's what shits me about stand-up in a way. It shits me because part of me wishes, like, I don't know if I said this to you the other day, but, you know, we haven't recorded it. So if I kind of wish sometimes I was an engineer or I had something like the laws of physics. Every morning I'd wake up, I'd be like, well, the laws of physics haven't changed, so I still know what I know. This still works. Whereas stand-up, you can go 10 years and your jokes could not work anymore.
Yeah.
You just don't know because every crowd is different. But then again, I'm chasing my tail now because maybe that's why I'm attracted to it. Every crowd is different. So that's
a part of it.
There.
It's again, going back to that Seinfeld, it goes, it's one of the most fair forms of entertainment because you're judged every few seconds.
Every few seconds you're judged. And even when comedians say, all right, there are comics like, I think I'm sort of in my 40s now and I'm getting to the stage where I don't care what people think, which is making me slightly more fearless on stage.
I think I was born with that.
And yeah, I've seen you perform and you have a huge element of I don't give a fuck as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way to be.
Yeah, I guess that's something I took across from the music was I saw all the politics and bullshit and it's entertainment. It's all the same fucking shit. Managers, fucking crabs in a bucket. Everyone's trying to fucking pull each other down to get ahead, you know?
Yeah.
But they... Oh, sorry, I lost my point there.
Crabs in a bucket.
Crabs in a bucket.
Which is a great image. Everyone's trying to get out. Stepping on top of each other.
Stepping on top of each other. And that's what it's like. And, I mean, people don't see it for what it is. But that's what I was trying to say. That's the stuff I brought across to doing comedy was I'm like, I'm not doing any of the shit. I'm not doing any of that bullshit again because I've already done it. And I know the shit I can avoid and it's not going to affect me. And I know the stuff that is like, you're going to have to do this to progress, you know? So there's, you know, these gigs that I do that I don't want to do. I don't like the room. I don't like the lineup. I don't really like the fucking audience. But I need to get in front of certain people so they can go, oh, fuck, he actually can do this. You know what I mean?
What's your end game with stand-up? Do you have an end game? Like,
look, my caviar dream up until fucking COVID was to make it as a touring comic in the States. I wanted to be a road comic. I don't want to be fucking Bill Burr. I don't want to be a superstar. I want to be able. That would be my dream, is to be able to make a living. 6 months, or 3 months in the UK, 3 months in the States, and then 6 months back home.
I was a road comic.
And I'd only be home 6 months because I've got kids. Like, otherwise I'd go around the clock.
Well, I was a road comic for a while. It was fun for the first couple of years, and then it blurred.
Yep.
Every city became. I didn't know where I was. The
Yeah.
cities all blended in.
Lost in translation type stuff where
Pretty much, man.
suitcase in a hotel. Yeah.
Hotels were boring. Once the buzz of being in a hotel, having pay TV, having like a hot tub all wore off, being at the snow, being in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt, going swimming in the Red Sea for free, doing all this cool shit with Arabs smoking shisha, going to Bucharest, doing lines of coke and all that. It just wore off, and I was like, where am I? What am I doing? And then I felt like my comedy wasn't progressing, and it wasn't until I came back home, amongst friends and family, did I plug myself into a core group of people. And then my soul started breathing again, and I started becoming, I think, funnier. I started writing more. I was less of a shell. I had more substance. But that's me.
Yeah.
But then there's other acts that are still, well, not now because of COVID, but still out there performing all the time, loving it, being road comics. Just love it.
I don't know. I like solitude. I love traveling. Like driving, I could just drive all day. Like I've really got to mentally stop myself sometimes when I go out in the car just to not go, oh, fuck it, let's drive to Alice Springs. Love eating road with the car.
What year's your car?
Oh, the current one.
Yeah.
2007.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be all right for Alice. Anything?
Oh, to get to Alice.
Yeah. Would it cough, though?
Yeah. I reckon she'd struggle around Adelaide.
It's like sending a smoker on a marathon.
Fuck,
Some
I
makes
drove
and
a
models.
Toyota.
Be careful.
I drove a fucking Toyota Echo to Perth once.
Across the Nullarbor.
Yeah, bro.
Fuck, was it dicey?
It was dicey because of the gaps in petrol. Because it's only got a little tank on the cunt. So you fill it up.
Did you have a jerry can?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Cause,
a 20-litre can, right?
Yeah. Because you'd be like, all right, well, and there's no fucking Wi-Fi or nothing. You can't be like, how far away is the next fucking servo?
No, like birds can't traverse the distances to come to Adelaide. That's why they have stringent rules with flora and fauna and fruit that when you go across from Adelaide, it's space. Yeah. It's like the vastness of black space. Yeah. Nothing can come across. So that's why you're in no man's land.
Yeah.
And I think it's
there's
law.
Some fucking weird towns out there too. It's like 16 people in this town, and it's like there's a pub and you don't see any houses.
Yeah. And
you're like, where the fuck do these cunts live underground? It's like Cooper Petey's. When you've been to Cooper Petey before?
Nah, but I've heard it's off its tits. Everything's underground.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hot.
Yeah, and it's like opal mining. I saw there's a fucking opal mining show they've got on pay TV at the moment.
Yeah.
Where they send couples out to Cooper Petey to fucking try and find their fortune in opals.
So you drove across the Nullarbor?
Yeah.
I've
done it both ways. I've gone straight across and straight up, like from Adelaide up to Darwin.
To the people in the UK, because I got a few listeners in the UK. It's like obviously you know how big Australia is. We went on a mining tour in the middle of the desert. We were headed up to the Pilbara and we set our sat nav for a joke, and it said in 636 k's turn right.
Yeah.
And we're like, thanks, bitch.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up.
I had heaps of those driving when you drive to the Northern Territory. It's thousands of kilometres in a straight fucking line.
The Central Desert Highway, I think it's called. It's actually, we did a dirt road as
well.
No
speed limit either.
No speed limit, and this.
When I had my XR8, that was lots of fun.
Take an X? Yeah, that would be. When we were going through some towns in the Pilbara and Central Australia, we were stopping, getting fuel, and they were telling us the indigenous communities have cars that they drive with no windscreen and no headlights, and they fucking drive them at night successfully.
Man.
Yeah, because they just know where they're going intuitively, and their eyes adjust in the pitch black of the night. I used to
have a missus that used to fucking turn the headlights off when we were driving on the out in country roads.
Was she cooked though, or
with me?
was she? Yeah, she's cooked.
Yeah.
These black fellas, they just know what they're doing.
That's fucking
They can
insane.
do it, and the cops just don't give them they don't touch.
They give them a fucking hard enough time with everything else.
Well, yeah, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So you drove across the Nullarbor Plain. Birds can't go across. Nothing can go across. It's fucking no man's land. So yeah, you had to have a jerry can full of fuel.
Yeah, in the back.
And did you have any moments where you're like, oh shit, I think we're fucked here?
No,
It was all right.
For such a fucking pessimistic person, I'm like, with shit like that, I'm always optimistic. Same with health stuff. For some reason, I'm always really optimistic whenever fucking someone I know gets sick or...
Did you have a phone with you, like a satellite phone, or?
Nah. I just
Okay.
went for fucking... Went
So
for broke.
If you broke down, you just have to wait. Have some water.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
wait.
that was the other jerry can. Water and petrol.
My friends broke down, not in the mining tour I did. So we
I
went,
don't suggest doing it in a fucking Toyota Echo either.
Yeah, don't do it in a Toyota.
Do it in something with a comfortable chair.
Yeah, 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, well, ideally. Something with a fucking huge tank.
Yeah, don't be one of those British backpackers that we see in a shitty Volkswagen in the 70s doing it, and they fucking die, or if they're lucky, they get abducted and murdered. Just get put out of their misery.
That's got to be like one of the, like, Australia has to be like #1 cause of death for British backpackers. I went to Australia and I never came back.
Oh, we love chopping them up in
Yeah.
the middle of bumfuck
Oh.
nowhere. We just love it. They're just so stupid.
I had a girl who lived with me in a share house. Lily White, right? She's fucking stoked to be in Australia. She's been here about 2 months. She goes outside, slathers herself in fucking cooking oil. And I'm like,
Olive oil.
yeah, cooking oil.
My auntie used to do that. It's
And I'm-
fucking insanity.
I'm like, what are you fucking doing? And she's like, I'm getting a tan. I'm like, nah, you're going to fucking cook yourself.
Yeah,
She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, Australia's about 3 inches from the fucking sun.
it is.
All right?
It's closer to the sun.
It's
We
fucking...
are close to the sun. We're about 20 minutes from the sun, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Yeah.
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 She's like, oh, no, we've got the sun in Ireland. I'm like, no, you fucking don't.
Yeah.
That's
The sun in Ireland is a 40-watt globe at best.
that flickers.
Yeah, that flickers. It's shit. This is
The
fucking,
element's about to go out on the bitch, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's covered by fucking layers of fucking clouds and rain and shit. Nah, blue sky, 3 inches from the fucking sun here in
Without
Australia.
an ozone layer or hole, whatever, just fucking cooking.
That's why we invented the fucking Hills hoist, so we could fucking put the clothes a little bit closer to the sun so they dry quicker.
To dry in 2 seconds.
What do you think that... It's not that, it's for fucking mowing underneath it, isn't it? That was all. I always try to figure out, like, why does the Hills hoist go up? Is it so it's easy to mow under?
I always thought as kids we used to swing around it.
Fuck yeah,
and
bro.
Dad used to come out and whack us and belt the shit out of us before PC culture got involved.
Broke my sister's arm on one.
Yeah,
Swung her around. Down. I broke my sister's arm 3 times.
yeah. I bruised my brother. He bruised me.
Yeah.
Going around on those, the Hills hoist. By the end, it wobbled like the Tower of Pisa.
I
Mum
think
couldn't use it.
that kind of childhood is gone.
It was great childhood. I miss
Like where your parents were like, I don't give a fuck. Just when
Go.
when the street lights come on, be home.
come in, and you'd come home from school. You'd drop your bag. You'd go out.
Yeah, you
There'd-
wouldn't
there'd
go
be-
into your room and play fucking Fortnite
Nah.
for 12 hours. You'd
There'd-
drop your bag, maybe get changed, probably not, still in your school gear. You'd run off up the street to find some mates.
I grew up in Coburg on a street called Deacon Street, and
Mhm.
in Deacon Street in Coburg, that we'd run out. We'd all meet up after school. We'd play like soccer or
Yep.
cricket. We didn't really like playing cricket because the Lebos all wanted to bat and they wouldn't go out. I'd be like, all right, bro, the stump fell over by itself. You're not out then. And you couldn't argue with the Lebos because there were like 10 brothers. They just
Yeah.
kicked the shit out
Yeah.
of you.
And they got bats.
And we had 6 and out,
Yep.
one hand off the roof,
Yep.
automatic wiki,
Yep.
all these great fucking rules,
Yep.
man. Just great fun.
British Bulldogs. You couldn't play that in fucking school anymore.
And now my niece and nephew, who are living in the same street as I grew up,
Mhm.
I asked them, do you know any of the kids in the street? And they just looked at me like, yuck.
Yeah.
No.
No. Why
Are
would
you
I?
right? Why would I? They're all YouTubers. And
Yeah.
so I think they're missing something. They're going to
Yeah.
they're smarter than us. I think in terms of navigating
Yeah.
technology and using Instagram, like I ask them, how do I do this? How do
Yep.
I do that? But I think they're missing something important from mixing with other kids.
I went to a therapeutic horticulture conference when I was working as a mental health worker, and they showed this diagram of it was like, I think it was the 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and it's the main part is the home, right? 1970s, a kid was allowed to go fucking 20 kilometres from home, right? So it's got a forest on the edge of this picture. The kid's allowed to go fuck off into the forest in the 70s. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
Where's this?
This is, kind of globally, like the way
Okay.
that, the way that things work.
Oh, so you're talking about a statistical circumference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got the family home.
Got
in
ya.
the 1970s, as a child, you had a 20-kilometre radius. that your parents were comfortable
Yeah, right.
in you going to play.
Mine was about 10 in the 80s.
That's what I'm saying.
10 to 15 on a pushy.
It keeps shrinking to the point now that kids aren't allowed out of their front fucking yard.
Yes.
They're not allowed out of the backyard.
Yeah.
They're not. Actually, they're allowed in the backyard. They're probably not allowed to play in the front yard because mum and dad's worried that some fucking pedophile is going to pull them from the front, or they're going to get abducted. Or
we didn't have pedophiles back in our day. They were invented in the late 90s.
Mr. Baldy.
Mr. Baldy, yeah. Mr. Bubbles.
Yeah, that was a few of them around. There was that fucking one of the Moonbird clowns. Wasn't he a pedo?
I don't know, but I was like, maybe he was.
I think so. Zig and Zag, one of them cunts.
Oh yes,
one of them was a pedo.
That's right. Was he a Moomba clown?
Yeah, they were like that was the kind of their thing.
I reckon Zag was the pedophile, Mr. Bubbles, and Mr. Baldy.
Yeah,
which I don't like because it's a bit harmful to me.
Harmful to bald men. Around the world.
It's not fair.
You're being fucking follically profiled.
Have you ever been propositioned as a kid to jump in a car? I was outside a milk bar. I was grade 4. I just went in and bought. Do you remember Mates?
Oh yeah,
I
fucking little square
caramel
fucking Mates,
chew,
so good,
coated in chocolate. For 10 cents, I could get about 6 or 7.
Oh mate, when 1 cent lollies.
Yeah,
fuck.
So I got in, came out of the milk bar, the doorbell, or the little bell, the old school shitty milk bar. Came outside and there's a little Gemini car, shitty little box Gemini with a guy with a moustache, just like looking at me with his passenger side door open, and he's just ushering me in like that, moving his going, come on. And I swear to, I just didn't think anything of it. In my head, I was like, nah, fuck off, dude. I don't know you. And I kept walking. I ignored him. Years later, I told my mum, and she was like, holy fuck, why didn't you say anything? And that's when I realized, because when you're a kid, you don't know you're about to be abducted by a fucking monster.
No.
You just brush it off. I'm sure I had a beautiful, peaceful sleep that night.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize what had happened until afterwards. And that's why kids can hold a secret for so fucking long, because they need time to process and go, hey, my uncle was coming in my bed at night. What the fuck was that all about?
Yeah.
So, fragile. We're all fragile as kids. It's fucked up. We're so fucking precious.
And trusting.
And trusting. Thank fuck I didn't jump in that car. The only reason I think I didn't jump in that car is like I'm not jumping in a shitty fucking Gemini and get caught by my mates in a Gemini. So thank fuck. If you had a hotted up V8, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude.
Where we going? Let's cut some laps.
I'm getting fingered, but fuck, I'm in a V8. This rocks. But different times, man.
Yeah, man, 100%. Fucking. Yeah, like if I was to take my kids, I don't drink anymore or go to the pub. I've never been a pub guy. Yeah. That's because I got enough of it as a fucking kid. I spent my whole childhood in bars or at the pub or in the fucking TAB. But I got education. Like I don't see it as a negative. Like now, it'd be child abuse if you had your kids down the pub every day. You know, like if I was down the moorland every day with me 3 kids sinking fucking pots while I let them run crazy and they
in
get
the kids' playground. Yeah, it'd be bad parenting.
In the fucking 80s and 90s, there was no fucking kids' playground. I played under the pool table or watched the fucking mud wrestling on Sky, you know?
Or play Frogger on Sydney Road with the traffic.
I'd cross the road, I was a country kid, I'd cross the road to the fish and chip shop. Dad'd give me half a dozen fucking 20-cent pieces and I'd go play NBA Jam or Mortal Kombat or whatever. Until I'll come back half an hour.
How fun was that?
Come back half an hour later, Dad'd shell us out a few more 20-cent pieces. He was drinking, I was playing video games, everyone was fucking happy. And yeah, I really attribute those times of sitting around with men at a young age in maturing me really fast. Like, I understood adult concepts at a young age because these men didn't like go, oh, Joel's here, let's not fucking... They just spoke as men. And, yeah, I was never... And even when Dad had mates over, I had a seat at the table. I knew to shut the fuck up because I didn't have anything to add, but I sat there and learned, you know?
I had a similar experience with my brother who was like 7 or 8 years older, and I think... My brother was my lesson in word economy for being on stage because he would only let me chip in if it was fucking quick.
Yeah.
So he goes, if you're going to interrupt me and my mates, because I was 8, 9 years younger, he goes, you better fucking be quick and it better be something good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get a fucking belting. So every time I waffled on, crack over the head. So this cunt was like my word economy monster. So I think my brother... in a roundabout way,
built a comedian, helped
build an efficient word use economy.
It's got to be short. It better be fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I adapted, and I started saying some funny shit in amongst their Monopoly games with joints, and you know, I'd pipe in left and right. So that was my upbringing. My father, unfortunately, just a Greek bloke working in a factory, hated his fucking life because he did 12 hours every day for 6 days in a factory in a shit mind-numbing fucking job. But you know, he left poverty in Greece to come here. I reckon there's a lot of Greek, Italian, Yugoslavian, European men that are emotionally fucking scarred because of working in factories 6 days a week with no counselling, no support services, nothing. Just that's why they turn to booze. That's why they turn to the pokies. That's why they turn to their gardening. That's why they turn to punching their wife or buying property and just paying it off because they had no way to process, and they lost the ability to undertake leisurely activities because they couldn't afford to, because they had to pay off a home. So I had a disconnect with my father because of that, and I think I put it down to him working ferocious hours in a fucking factory, which would kill me now, man. That's akin to a labor concentration camp.
Yeah.
It's fucked. Me having feelings, talking to my dad, he would vomit all over my face.
Yeah.
If I went to my dad saying, "Hey, I've got some issues, I feel sad,"
that's not for men.
Would not get it. He'd look at me like, "I don't. What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Are you gay?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What are you talking about? You're sad at school. I don't give a fuck. You can go to school. I didn't go to school. You fucking little shit."
Yeah.
I skipped school. I got put on a boat and sent to Australia and got sent to a factory when I was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
My mum was making cutlery as a 17-year-old girl in Port Melbourne. Molten cutlery being poured into a mold and getting stamped, and shards of molten lava would fly off like a sneeze and just land near her, on her. She had this apron on. That's a 17, 18-year-old woman.
What did she have to do after that? She had to pull them out, or?
Yeah, pull them out, cool them, work on the production line, making cutlery.
That is a hectic job.
And then walk home, and then walk to work at 4 a.m. And a couple of times she was accosted in a car, like by blokes, wolf whistling, telling her to jump in the car. Fuck, man.
It's unbelievable. I mean, our generation, every shit job I've had, if it's been genuinely fucking terrible, I just go, fuck this, and leave.
Yeah.
You know? Your father, my father, they didn't have that fucking...
They couldn't have that luxury.
You didn't do that.
I can.
Mortgage, kids, blah, 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 blah. I mean, people say, you hear it a lot often, being an artist is like probably one of the most fucking self-indulgent things you can do.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I think my father doesn't understand what I do. And it's the reason why they've never seen me perform in 20 years. And when I was on Nova on radio, they didn't understand. They're like, why did you leave a good job in a head office of Coles Myer as a buyer or an assistant buyer? Why did you leave that job to sit at a desk and talk to people and play songs? We don't get it.
Yeah.
You went to uni. Like, we sent you to a university. That's huge, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not a big deal. They're like, we didn't finish primary school, mate.
I get it with it. My father passed away when I was 15, but he was always all for that. He's like, just do whatever makes you fucking happy. I don't care what you do.
That's great.
Whereas mum was more, does it make money? You know, to this day, she'll be like, oh, I've got a gig tonight. She goes, are they paying you? And I'm like, no. What difference does it make? I've been doing this nearly 20 years now, mum.
Do you give up now trying to panel beat her into your way of thinking?
No.
I just, a lot of times...
I just call her on her bullshit now. Like, I think that's all I can do anymore.
Are you close with your mum?
Again now, but we weren't for a while.
Yeah. I'm very close with my mum, but I'm very picky as to what I tell her about my life. Like, I'm the same when it comes to gigs. She's like, are they paying you?
Yeah.
I don't even go there.
Yeah.
If they're not paying me, I don't tell her.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
sometimes I just say fucking
I just avoid.
yes.
Yes. That's what you took the words out of my mouth. Because it's now in our age, we're both like approaching your late 30s, early 40s. Yeah. We're just learning to not rock the boat with mum because she's concrete. She's not going to change her opinions. You're not going to bring your mum around. The only way for me to bring my mum around into my way of thinking is to give her a massive mushroom trip and make her see that the universe is a wonderful.
I'd love to get my mum stoned.
But she would. I'm afraid that if I gave my mum mushrooms, she would just freak out and start making cheese pastries in the kitchen until it wore off, and she just wouldn't get it.
Yeah. I'd similarly want to get my mum stoned, so she just stops. Like she realizes the things that are important, the things that
Just
aren't
to
important.
break down some barriers between you. It's like, hey, mum, how about this as a philosophy of life?
Yeah.
Let me do what I want. I'm fucking happy. I'm in a great place right now.
Yeah.
I'm
And she's in
genuinely happy.
She's in chronic fucking pain. It'd suit her right up and down. But
why don't you just get her the oil, cannabis oil, or can you get that for her?
I think I might try and get her fucked up at Christmas with a vape pen.
You know, my mate makes these gorgeous marijuana protein balls. If anyone wants any, hit me up on YouTube or DM me on my email. He makes these marijuana protein balls. They're fantastic.
Nice.
They're really good.
For the fucking health conscious stoner.
For the health conscious stoner and for people that don't want to ingest smoke into their lungs, he's got a whole heap. He lives in Richmond. He's got a whole heap of clients at gyms.
Mm.
They work out and then take a mushroom ball.
That's brilliant.
Not a mushroom, but a cannabis ball, and just relax and jump in a hot bath and get a massage. It's really good for
a lot of jiu-jitsu. It's really common practice to be stoned and do jiu-jitsu because it helps you focus on on what's going on. It's that presence or that being in the moment because you can't. Like I was talking about with basketball before, nothing else can fill your head, so you're focused on that task. And marijuana kind of helps keep you calm while someone's trying to fucking choke you out. Because you got to be calm.
Have you done jiu-jitsu?
I only fucked around with friends who do it. Like I've never learnt or anything. I've just wrestled some friends and got injured from it. Because,
I have no martial art ability, and I'm kind of worried a little bit because I told you what happened.
Yeah, but you're smart enough.
Well, I
not
told you
to
what
fucking
happened.
start fights with people.
Yes.
You're not one of those cunts that's like, if
not.
he was here, I'd bash him because you know that there's people out there that can fuck you up.
Yes, the only reason I say that is because I wasn't scared, but I was interested over the weekend how I got a piece of material about cats. It's no big deal, but the crux of it is I prefer cats over dogs, and then I hang shit on dogs, and it's a joke. And then someone sent me an Instagram message saying, fuck you, dogs are way better. I'll meet you at the back of the comedy club. I'll wait for you. I'll fuck you up. Dan, who owns the Comics Lounge, saw the message because I reposted it, and he said to me, "Are you okay, man? Do you need some help? Because this guy is kind of serious." And I'm like, "I think he is serious." And I wrote back going, "You go all the way with dogs? That's gross." And he wrote back going, "I will fucking go you. I don't care who you are." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" So I could get accosted one day going down the stairs at a comedy club because some of the shit we say
over a dog joke.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I was like, who is this guy? Turns out he was some thug that I ended up deleting, but he was a legitimate person.
Yeah.
He was in the crowd because he said a few things about my set and about what I heckled back to someone in the crowd.
Right.
So he was there.
Yeah.
And then that's where the boys from the Comics Lounge rang me up the next day and they're like, just let us know if it comes back and we'll help you to your car and all that shit. And I'm like, thank you, boys. You're mighty fine of you, boys. Because I'm like, I don't fight. I don't know how to fight. I've never really...
Anybody that goes out looking for fucking violence is an idiot. Or thinking that they can... think that they can fight and they're not trained.
It's just so easy to just get coward punched or glassed in a bar now.
I'm grateful to have a sixth sense for that shit.
Was it you that told me the story about someone who got glassed straight to the face at a bar, or it was someone else? I've done too many pods in the last few days.
I could tell you fucking 20 stories of cunts getting glassed.
Well, yeah, you grew up in the country in pubs.
No, not even that. Hip hop, fucking rap shows. Like I was saying, they're the worst. The reason
why? Because you roast each other? Is that
testosterone? Everyone's trying to be the hardest cunt, and it's like this is not what this culture's about.
And they fight.
Yeah. So to get to a certain point of the night, too much piss, too much whatever. Ice got introduced at some point in the mid 2000s, and yeah. There's reasons. The reason that initially there was no glass in the Gershwin room, they went to the at the SB.
At the SB, yeah, that was a great stand-up club back in the day. Eric Banner and all that. Sorry, go on.
The reason that they went from you couldn't get a glass a beer anymore. You had to give the plastic cups. Was because hip hop shows and cunts fucking glassing each other in the audience.
Right.
That was initially why they changed to plastic, because of all the fucking glassings, and that's why hip hop shows don't last long at venues, because the graffiti writers go fucking tag the shit out of the toilets.
Oh, wow.
So they destroy the toilets, which pisses the venue off because they've got to clean it. There's drug use, but like it's mainly just weed, so that's not so bad.
But then you said mid-2000s, the ice
Mid-2000s, the ice fucking came in. I remember doing a show, and I was backstage, and these young lad cunts came in, and like, hey, bro, can we get some fucking... I'm like, this is hip-hop, bro. Like, let's smoke a spliff, like...
And they're burning the glass barbie.
Yeah, I was just like, when the fuck did you cunts come in?
I have never seen that in a green room. I've seen coke get done in a green room, but I've never seen anyone burn a glass barbie.
Oh, I've seen them all. I've seen everything done.
In a comedy green room?
Not in a comedy green room, in music. Yeah, I've seen everything.
So, what you're saying is, in the rap culture, they get on stage and they try and outdo each other with raps. They don't talk about...
It's not the artists so much that are the fucking problem.
It's the people in the crowd?
It's the punters.
And the punters are supporting their favourite rappers,
Yeah.
and they go at each other going, fuck you, my rapper.
Yeah, and
mate's
there's
the
little
best.
cliques and crews and...
And it starts fighting. So
Yeah.
it's not like stand-up where each one is individual.
No. Because you like this dude, he's with that label and this crew of guys, and it usually stems down from graffiti crews. And if the graffiti crews go long back, far enough to the 80s when, graffiti started in Geelong, Melbourne's got Geelong to thank for the whole graffiti culture. It started there first and then came down here.
Can I say something fluffy? Are there any like rappers that have come onto the scene like an Eminem where everyone like golf claps and went, oh yeah, this is fucking good
Oh, heaps
all
of people
around?
like that. Yeah. There's lots of really
Okay.
beloved people. It's
And
just...
is it a place where people like?
It's the shows. It's not the music. It's not the
Is
fan.
it still a circuit where you can come through and become a decent rapper? Like progression, like
Yeah,
as
there is.
comedy, there is.
There is. I mean...
And what would be
That's
the
how
best?
I cut my teeth the same way. It was an open mic at the Laundry in on Johnson Street in Fitzroy.
Do you know any good venues now if someone wants to go and watch rap? Because I
Oh, nah.
wouldn't mind going one day to see some rappers because I think,
Fuck.
they're very...
Well, music's kind of died in the ass with COVID because you can't have because of the numbers. So live music's not really
Live
been
music
around.
is fucked, but surely rap, it's just you just have a DJ and a
Yeah, but
rapper,
still,
right?
they count it as
music.
So they
And how
can't
did
put
we
it on.
get off the hook?
Because they don't class comedy as entertainment.
Fuck, see what we cop?
Yeah,
We're the dregs, mate.
yeah. Comedy was not a problem.
We can get destroyed for our art.
Mm-hmm.
You would never go to an art gallery and diss on a painting in front of the painter. You'd just quietly go, that is fucking shit.
That's shit. I don't understand it. Yeah.
But with a comedian, you would go up to him and go, I didn't like that because that's offensive and fuck you and that wasn't funny. My sister's retarded. And
Even when they agree with you, they can be cunts. I
Yeah.
did old joke I did about, it was just I had a big run of my dick so big jokes.
Yeah.
And one of them was, my dick's so big I can't get enough blood to my hands to choke my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then, the crowd will either moan or laugh. And I'll be like, I know she's disappointed too.
Yeah.
After the gig, kid comes up to me and he's real fucking stoked. And he's like, wants to tell me I've done really well and he really enjoyed the show. And he starts giving me notes. And funnily enough, I still have it on, I have the whole conversation on recording because I've forgot to turn my fucking phone off record when I had it in my pocket recording the set. So he's talking to me and he's like, oh, I think you should do little dick jokes because, you look like a guy with a big dick. So I like it to be funnier. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you're telling me what's funny and what's not funny now. And he goes, yeah, man, but that the thing about your big, like the not getting enough bloody hands, because it's funny because you look like a guy that would choke his girlfriend. And I'm kind of like,
Oh, fucking hell.
I'm like, well,
Thanks.
thanks. Yeah, that's all I said. The exact reaction was, thanks. I guess, like, with her consent, I choke her because that's what she likes. Not like I just go around choking bitches. Like, is that the vibe I give off, mate? And he was like, oh, no, thanks for the comment. I'm like, so even when people are trying to be fucking nice to you about your art,
Yeah.
they still shit on you. Like,
Absolutely.
it's backhanded compliments. And they're not even trying to be backhanded. They're trying to be nice. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I thought I did well. Now you fucked it. Like, thanks, mate. I was 2 feet off fucking stage. Couldn't you, like, let me, like, have half a second to, like, go to the bar, get myself a fucking lemonade? No. I want to pull you aside now and tell you what was good and what was bad in my expert opinion as a punter.
Yeah.
who's never tried this. That's the other one I hate, is the drunk cunts who are like, I'm fucking funny than you. I can fucking do that. All my mates think I'm fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, could you? Okay, tell us a joke. And they go, well, yeah, me and Robbo and fucking Timmy were down the shops. And it's like, I don't know who Robbo and Timmy are. I don't know where the fucking shops are. I don't give a fuck. I had to be there, right? If I wasn't there, it's not funny.
That's the problem we face as comedians. We work so hard to panel beat a piece of material that when we get it right, it sounds effortless.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just
simple,
conversational.
and it sounds like conversational stream of consciousness. And we make it look easy. And that's where they go, it's easy. We could do that. He's just saying it. Like, especially the one that I get always is Carl Barron. A lot of my mates who aren't comedians will go, oh, what Carl Barron does is easy. He just like, he talks about a fart and then he like does a fart noise. He does a funny face and then he says, you know, when you hold it in when you go out on a date and then you fart in the car. I can do that. Yeah, well, give it a fucking go.
Yeah, write down all your observations and let's see how fucking funny they are.
You would eat a fucking dick so quick and your head would spin and then you'd panic. You'd break out into a sweat because the crowd's looking at you. You'd freak out. You wouldn't be able to form two words together.
The silence will deafen you.
The silence will deafen you and be like, welcome to death. Yeah. Anyway, man, we're going to wrap this up.
Beautiful.
Joel, plug your show, man. That's the hour done. Plug your show. I think I'm going to post this online maybe next week or the week after.
Yeah, cool. So Dumpster Fest is coming up.
Yeah,
yes. For the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. There's a bunch of shows, bunch of different comedians from the 10th of April to the 18th. So the last week of festival, 52A Holmes Street, Brunswick East, just up from the Macca's at the end of Lygon Street.
And fuck Macca's, it's behind Il Carusi Pizza Shop.
That's it, Il Carusi, amazing.
One of the guy won best margarita in the world when he went to Italy for the championship. So
stand
great
by
pizza.
It. You can get a great pizza and come see some fucking
excellent
comedy.
All right.
Peace.
Joel Pearse, cheers, man.
Thanks, man.